what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. This is T Word, the People's Champ. Thank you for tapping in. Today, we're going to continue our series of NFL team needs heading into the 2023 NFL Draft. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate your feedback. So, as we continue this journey, we've already fulfilled the AFC and NFC North, the AFC South, and now we're going to talk about the NFC South. Obviously, one of my favorite divisions because it's home to my favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. But we're going to go in alphabetical order here, and we're going to start at the very top of the list with the Atlanta Falcons and their team needs. So I've got my board here with all my information ready. And first up is going to be cornerback and edge rusher. So one thing that is very common in the NFC South is because it's warm weather teams and it's also dome teams, it's good if you have good edge rushers because the passing game is a significant part of what goes on in this division. You don't really have truly run-based teams besides pretty much Carolina, so you're going to really need to be able to get after quarterback. So edge rush is important, and by default, also cornerback, because if you're getting pressure, you need somebody who can get out there and swat the ball, bat the ball down, whatever. So that's going to be big for the Falcons. I would say they still need a quarterback as well. Carolina Panthers, they're going to need a quarterback and wide receiver. If they're trying to transition from a run-heavy team to eventually now become a truly pass-happy team, they're going to need both those pieces. I feel like if they want to kind of keep their offense similar how it was when they had Cam Newton years ago, maybe they're going to look at Lamar Jackson and trying to acquire him from the Baltimore Ravens, something we spoke about in the previous video. I'm just not sure that the juice will be worth the squeeze for them to give up as much as it takes to get him, and they already have the number one pick. They might be looking at QB, something we're going to discuss when we get into our draft prediction or our mock draft, okay? Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints, edge rusher and interior defensive lineman. So obviously, I have intimate knowledge of what the Saints have done in the offseason. They addressed a lot of needs. Alvin Kamara's potentially going to miss some games. They signed Jamal Williams. Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston couldn't get it done last year. They signed Derek Carr. They drafted wide receiver in the first round last year, and then they just picked up Bryan Edwards, a former Raider, who was a 2020 second-round pick. This is somebody Derek Carr's familiar with, so you've given him a familiar target. I would add that maybe offensive guard and offensive tackle might be a couple positions they address again at some point in the draft, just not in the first round. A great edge rusher at the 29th pick would be really good. Or if there's a run stuffer that they could get at the top of the second round, maybe they trade out of the first and get extra picks and maybe pick up a couple of defensive linemen, maybe a 3 technique to go ahead and get entrenched in the middle of the defense. So that's going to be the Saints' needs. Finally, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the team that won the division last year, won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. They're going to need a quarterback, edge rusher, cornerback, and safety. So a lot of defense. They need somebody pressure QB and then somebody intercept the ball. They also need somebody to throw the ball on offense. With the retirement, the second retirement of Tom Brady left a gaping hole in their team. They've still got receivers. They always need a running back. So that's probably going to be a position they're addressing the draft and sign some free agents after that. But quarterback is something they're going to need to try and pick up. Now, because of their record and winning the division, they're at like the 20th spot. So they're in that middle tier. The Saints drafted here a lot. And sometimes it's hard to get what you want unless you move up or move down. I'm big on moving down, and I think Tampa Bay might do so, get a little bit later in the first round and actually get some extra picks. And that way they can still get some decent play out of quarterback and then also maybe pick up another receiver because Mike Evans is starting to get a little bit older, and then maybe get a tight end as well. Now, keep in mind they did sign Baker Mayfield, so they may feel comfortable rolling with him, but I still feel like it's a team need because Baker hasn't really shown what we saw from him coming out of Oklahoma, and that's why he's looking at basically his third team. So we'll see how it plays out. So quick recap, we've got Atlanta needs a cornerback and edge. Carolina needs a QB and wide receiver. The Saints need an edge defensive lineman, and in my opinion, offensive line, tackle or guard or both. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need a QB, edge rusher, cornerback, and safety, and maybe even a wide receiver. So I would love to get your thoughts. This has been T-Word for the Mic Check Podcast. Till next time I'm out. Peace.